Welcome to Wisdom Teachings with Dr. Amanda Love. Today's topic, communicating from the heart. Communicating from the heart. We all desire connection. There is a primordial impulse to move towards greater and greater connection with self and others. Without connection, we feel separate, isolated, and alone. The impulse to connect is so strong because fundamentally there is just one being, one awareness, one isness in and as all of creation. As the one, we have given ourselves the experience of separateness, making it seem as if we are disconnected. The only remedy or repair is to reconnect, to come back into relationship with all of which we are, so that we can remember the one source of which we've never been apart from. Connection occurs through communication. We are always communicating something, whether or not we are aware of it. We may use our bodies, our emotions, or our thoughts to communicate. But what is actually doing the communicating? What is the being behind all of the forms that we utilize? Often we are so identified as the forms, as our body or our emotions or thoughts, and we don't recognize the being that we are. Due to this, we may find ourselves in strictly mental conversations, or emoting without resolution, or having purely physical exchanges with others. These communications don't feel full because we are not fully there. There is an absence of a deeper presence, a miss of something that you might not even fully be able to articulate, but you feel and know it. While these types of exchanges might be functional and serve a practical purpose, they are transactional and ultimately unfulfilling in feeling greater connection. As we recognize ourselves as the being that we are, rather than misidentifying ourselves as all of the forms we think we are, we find the heart. By organization, the heart is interconnected. It knows itself as one with everything else. It is inseparable from all other hearts. If you know your own heart, you know all hearts, because the heart is and acts as one. There is a natural meeting and seeing, a mirror reflecting itself back to itself. This is where magic becomes evident as the way in which everything works. There is no need for words, but words are welcome. There can be physical touch or movement, but it is not required. There is no force. Joy, levity, and bliss is the information the heart shares. This is our natural state in which healing can occur as wholeness is recognized. Landing in the heart is us resting into home. Being in love is the state we all desire. Unfortunately, we tend to think of being in love as what we experience with only one other person in our lives. Maybe we love other people, but being in love is an entirely different game, of which we often only allow with our significant other and perhaps our children and pets. What would it be like to extend the feeling of being in love to and with everyone you meet? How open would you need to be in order to allow your heart to share vibrations of love with all? I am not talking about just a friendly, social sending of love, but allowing your heart to merge with everyone you meet. After all, your hearts are already merged. It's simply that most people are not communicating from this level of their being. They are too busy being talking heads and getting stuff accomplished to recognize that they are one with the entire heart of the cosmos. While many of us want to know how to sustain higher levels of energy, vibration, wisdom, excitement, desire, and spiritual access in our lives, being in love is the answer to it all. While you can use the permission slip of a significant other to help you generate the state of being in love, you don't need to. Being in love is who you are, regardless of who you are or are not in a relationship with. Since you can never leave yourself, meaning since you cannot not exist, Being in love always is. It's simply a matter of where you choose to hang out inside of your being. Fall in love with everything, and I promise you that you will never ask or think about how you can sustain the energy, aliveness, and desire for life that you desire to feel. Spiritual ascension is a matter of being in love. As you are, more and more becomes available to you. Everything that you desire to feel or know, you become open to receiving. Falling into love simply means you resist nothing that is, and in return, you become available to the entire reality of your world because you are not keeping anything out. The heart steps front and center because it is the only thing that remains once you let your resistances go. Effortlessly, you are rested in your heart, and you communicate this with everything and everyone without the need for words or anything else. This doesn't mean that everyone will be able to fully receive what you share, but it doesn't matter. They receive what they can, and because you recognize yourself as an abundant, overflowing stream of love, you know that all is well regardless. Being in love is the best. We all know this. I invite you to activate the state of being in love right now. If you fall out of love, then periodically throughout your day, remind yourself to fall back into love. It's really that simple. It's not hard to fall in love. It's the easiest, most natural way of being because it's what you are. It's where and when you feel most alive, most connected, and most at peace. Challenges exist only when we resist love, not when we are in love. Surrender to love. Surrender to yourself. The only thing on the other side of it all is more yum.